What's up, cooks? It's Wednesday. On the show today, we are going to look at various types of ice cream makers. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions about ice cream makers because it's the middle of the summer, everybody's stuck at home, and everybody wants to make homemade ice cream. So we're going to talk about three major types of ice cream makers that are available. So when you're making a decision to buy an ice cream maker, you can buy the one that fits both your budget and your needs. So join me. Let's talk about the types of ice cream makers. So if you're thinking about making homemade ice cream, it's a great hobby because with a basic ice cream maker, you can make all kinds of different ice creams. Pretty much the sky's the limit, right, Eric?
Your imagination.
You can make chocolate, strawberry, vanilla,
Peanut
butter, banana, cookies and cream, caramel ice cream, whatever you want. Skittles ice cream. So a lot of these ice cream makers will do a fine job. The only difference between these is, number one, the price, and number two, a lot of the features and the convenience. So we can start out here. This is an old-fashioned ice and rock salt type ice cream maker. And this is a modern one. Eric just bought this the other day. These come in two varieties. One is an electric type and one is a hand cranking churn type. So this one tries to bring back, the old fashioned aspects by giving you this, wooden bucket type, but there is a plastic bucket inside. So this is more of your traditional ice cream maker. This is a rock salt and ice cream maker. So we can kind of move up the spectrum to an ice cream maker like this. This is the Cuisinart. And what's interesting about this ice cream maker is inside of it, it has a bowl. And this bowl goes in the freezer. The bowl actually has some liquid here, and you put this in the freezer overnight, so you don't need the ice and the rock salt like you do on this one. This is an electric churn type ice cream maker, and it eliminates the need to add ice and add your rock salt. Here's some ice cream rock salt that you would use in this machine. So moving up the scale from here, we have this, and this is a Cuisinart Compressor ice cream machine. And what's great about this ice cream machine is it has a freezer built into the ice cream maker. It has its own compressor. So you don't have to put anything in the freezer. You dump your base in here and you turn it on. So you can make batch after batch after batch without having to purchase ice or salt, without having to freeze a bowl. It's just ready for you to make ice cream at all times. So we're going to go through some of the features of these, but first off, let's talk about price. So this ice cream maker, this is a nostalgia bucket style ice cream maker. This ice cream maker we bought at Walmart for $29.99, so it's basically $30. The freezer type ice cream maker, this is a Cuisinart, but you can get other brands. You can also get a KitchenAid that goes with your stand mixer that has a freezer bowl in it, and you use the mixer as a churner. This one runs $99. So to eliminate the having to get the ice and the rock salt, you can move up to this type of ice cream maker, but the price is significantly increased. This is $30. This is basically $100. So if you want the ultimate inconvenience, right, you're always going to pay more for that. And we're going to take it from a step of $99 to $299. That's what this ice cream maker costs, basically $300 for one that is a compressor. So we have 30, 100, and 300, right? Okay, first up is the Nostalgia
old-fashioned
bucket style, old-fashioned rock salt and ice cream maker. So this is the kind of ice cream maker that I'm used to from the 70s. I mean, we even had one, I believe, that was a churn style. So you had to sit up here and churn it like this for like a half hour. So you better have some friends along with you to do some of the churning. Otherwise, your arm is going to pretty much fall off, right? So they've come up with these electric versions. This one, it can hold up to 4 quarts of ice cream. So that's one good thing about this ice cream over something like this, which is a 2 quart, over the compressor, which is a 1.5 quarts, is this can hold up to 4 quarts of ice cream. So if you want to make ice cream for kids or a bigger crowd, or you're going to have a party or something and you want to run multiple batches, you can do this in this ice cream maker. You just have to have your supplies. So if you want to do 1 batch, 3 batch, 5 batches, as long as you have enough ice and rock salt, you can make as many batches as you want in this, and it makes up to 4 quarts at a time. So how this works is, here's your motor, and here is your ice cream bucket. Ooh, and it has a lid here. And the lid holds on your ice cream paddle. So your ice cream paddle goes on, well, actually it's easier for me to put it on this way. You put this on here, and then we're gonna start putting about 6 cups of ice around here. We're gonna put about a cup of salt in here, then we're gonna put more ice until the ice is all the way up here. And then we put this on. This is our electric churner. And we're going to plug it in. And how this works is the bowl turns and the paddle stays stationary. So the bowl's going to turn your base around in there, and the paddle's going to move that around because it hits the paddle, and it's going to chill because you have your ice in here. Now, part of the way through, you're going to have to put more ice in here because it's going to melt, right? The salt helps with that, but it will melt over the course of 30 minutes. You put ice outside or where it's warm and it's going to melt, right? So what you get out of these ice cream makers, all of these, is you get ice cream that has like a soft serve consistency. So if you want it to be scoopable, you need to put it in the freezer to harden it up to be able to do that. All these ice cream makers, you get a soft serve consistency. So the benefit of this type of ice cream maker is it's readily available. We got it down the street at our local Walmart. It was $29.99, basically $30. It's affordable. It does do more ice cream at 4 quarts, but the downfall is you have to buy the ice and the rock salt. And sometimes you might go through a whole bag of ice just to make one load of ice cream. So if you're paying like $2.50 for a bag of ice, you're adding $2.50 to the cost of your basically 4 quarts of ice cream, a gallon, right? That is a downfall, but it is nice that you can make batch after batch. If you want to make ice in your freezer and save it in bags and then use it, otherwise you'll have to go buy the ice. So it's an affordable option, but that is one downfall is you have to buy the ice and the salt. The other downfall about this particular model is some people have reported that the wood on here either deteriorates or these metal strips come off and the wood falls off, or they actually get mold on this wood exterior. So just make sure, don't put this thing away back in the box when this is wet at all. I would recommend just don't store it in the box whatsoever, because you might think that it's dry, but there's still moisture on the inside between this plastic thing and the wood. And then when you go to use it again, it's going to be moldy. So I would not store it in the box. Let the air get to it. So if you use it, let it sit out for a few days. Let it fully dry out before you put it on the box, because you don't want this to mold. I even saw someone who bought one of these and it was molded when they took it out of the box. But it could be because they maybe they got a used one or something.
Return.
Yeah, it was probably a return. This is plastic. They have a version that has a plastic bucket that sort of resembles a bucket. But, if you really want to sort of get that, ice cream feel, you want to get your kids together and you want to make homemade ice cream, like old times, like we used to do back in the olden days, right? You might want to get one of these. It's kind of cute and there's some nostalgia sort of aspect to it.
Then if you're like, boo, you're going to go get some all-clad stainless steel and put the motor in there.
Yeah. I mean, if this thing wears out, can you still make it even though you have this plastic bucket? I don't know.
You just need plastic bucket and whatever thing, right, Bobo?
So if all this stuff falls off, you can still use just with bucket?
As long as that motor can hang on for dear life with a bungee cord, I don't know.
Okay, so next up we have the Cuisinart Freezer Bowl type ice cream maker. And like I said, this is $99. And this is the Cuisinart ICE-30. I'll put links down in the description for that. I will try to put links as best I can. One of the problems is right now, there's kind of a run-up on ice cream makers, I've noticed. So if it's not available on my link, either it will be eventually, or you might have to run around and hunt them, right? This one we did buy down the street the other day at Walmart. Okay, so how this ice cream maker works, it has this upper lid. It has a paddle similar to this, and the bowl rotates and the paddle stays stationary. So this bowl you put into your freezer overnight. There's liquid in here and it freezes. It's a gel in there, and then the bowl will be nice and cold. Like I said, KitchenAid has one that goes on the KitchenAid mixer as an attachment. So once the bowl is frozen, you're just going to put your bowl in here. You're going to put your paddle in here. You put the lid back on. So these types of ice cream makers, you want to get them going first and then pour your base in. Because if you put your base in and this is not stirring, the base will immediately freeze to the edge of the bowl. So you want this thing churning before you put your base in. And I imagine that's the case with that one too as well, right, Eric? Because if you put your base in, then put the ice in, that probably would work. But if you put your ice in, you want to get that, you don't want the base in there when it's cold because it will freeze. So I have this one turned on already. So it's hard to see, but the bowl is spinning and the paddle is standing still. So again, the ice cream moves around the paddle and churns. So what's great about this ice cream maker over this, like I said, is you don't have to have the ice and the salt to make your ice cream. You just always have ice cream available. You always have this available to make ice cream. The downside is you have to put this bowl in the freezer, so it's going to take up freezer space, as well as you generally can only do one batch with this, and then you have to refreeze the bowl. If you're fast, if you take it straight out of the freezer, if you dump your base in and do one batch and you have another chilled base ready to go in, I have made 2 batches, but that second batch takes longer to churn, and there's no guarantee that you're actually going to get a freeze on it. So generally speaking, this is a 1 batch deal.
Miss Amy, for those people who are thrifty, You can put a 1 pound bag of mixed vegetables on the middle of that, so when it's in the freezer, it's not wasting too much space.
You can use it as a storage shelf in your freezer. So this ice cream maker is very highly rated. It's known for giving really good results, and I can attest to that because I've used it a bunch of times, and it does work really well. Again, you are limited to one batch on this ice cream maker. So if you're an occasional ice cream maker and you don't mind this being in your freezer, I just put it in the freezer and leave it in there. And you only want to make one batch at a time. This is a great option. You can buy extra bowls for this. I think they're about $50 and it will have to go in your freezer. So you will have multiple bowls to use, but also you're giving up freezer space and it's another $50, right? And for the granddaddy of ice cream makers is the Cuisinart Compressor. This ice cream maker actually has a freezer compressor built into the ice cream machine. So you no longer need ice and salt, and you no longer need to freeze the bowl. This ice cream maker is ready to make ice cream anytime you want ice cream. And it can make batch after batch all day long, right? So this ice cream maker is the most expensive option. It's about $300. And the way this works is it's slightly different in that the paddle is stationary and the bowl goes around. This one, the paddle goes around and the bowl is stationary. So what you have is your lid, and right here you have a little window, peekaboo, right? You can put your ice cream mix in through here. Just make sure you have, I usually have it in like a Pyrex or something with the pour spout. So you take this off, the lid locks here. You take that off, and here's your paddle. So this actually comes with two separate paddles. So this is your paddle for doing ice cream, and this is your paddle for making gelato. And the difference is this has additional spikes through the middle, and it keeps it from incorporating so much air, so you get a denser ice cream when you want to make gelato with this over this. And it also has a bowl that comes out here. So when it's done, you can just go ahead and lift the bowl and get your ice cream. So see how this has this little thing here? You put your paddle onto there. We're going to put our lid on. If I put it on the right way. Okay. We're going to plug it in, and you just turn the power on. You hit the amount of time. So usually I turn it on 60, and I have my base in the refrigerator, and I let this run for maybe 10-15 minutes so it chills all down the inside. Then I open this up and pour my base in, and then you just hit start, and it will churn away your ice cream. And you get a little bit of small amount of air coming out here, not a huge amount, but this is your compressor in here. So this just churns away. When you're done, you can stop it, remove the lid, get your ice cream out, clean this out of that flavor, pour another batch of ice cream in here, and away you go. So if you have people coming over, you have people that you want to make a chocolate and vanilla, you want to make ice cream every single day, it's going to eliminate the salt and ice of this and eliminates the freezer bowl of that. So the downside of this machine is it is a lot more expensive. When you buy this machine, it's a commitment to ice cream making, right? But a lot of people, you might not have trouble with that. It's also, it's a very heavy machine. This machine also, because it has a compressor on it, it needs to stay in this position. If you store it upside down, if you store it on the side or something like that, you mess up the Freon that's inside this machine. So if that were to happen, you need to put it down in its proper position for at least 24 hours to get that Freon to set before you use it, because you could damage the motor. So just remember, this machine, more expensive, heavier, and you have to keep it upright like this. You really need a place to be able to store it. But this isn't, you know, this is for someone who's committed to learn to make ice creams, custards, dairy-free ice creams, gelatos, anything you can think of. This is truly a dessert maker, sorbets. It's with someone who really wants to work at making good ice creams, different flavors, and challenge yourself to ice cream making, because you're able to do that all the time. So the other thing I can recommend if you really want to get into ice cream maker is get you a nice ice cream freezer and container. This is a Sumo container, and I got this as a 2-pack. I'll leave a link down in the description. I think these are $20-something for 2 of them. But one of the things about ice cream is you really, once you get it in the freezer, because when you get it out of these machines, it's going to be a soft serve consistency. So if you want to harden that ice cream up, you want to get it to the freezer, and you want to reduce the risk that ice crystals will form. One of the things with these quality ice cream containers, number one, they don't break. So I've put ice cream in like a regular old plastic container, and when I went to open it, the lid would just crack, because number one, it's frozen and it just can't handle that.
Well, those were the take-alongs, which are
yeah, we put them in take-alongs, which killed them, right? But this also is a double insulated thing, so you can wash it like this, but this keeps the condensation down. So one thing you do when you make your ice cream is you fill this up, you put a layer of plastic wrap over the top and seal that to the top of the ice cream. Then you put your lid on, and it keeps any of the ice crystals from forming. It does take a little more time for it to freeze, but the results are really good. Because look at the shape. Once you get your ice cream in there, then when you want to go scoop it, whoosh, 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 right? It's a perfect shape for scoopable ice cream.
It takes overnight. We tried to do it for 4 hours and it's still soft serve.
Yeah, it takes a little longer for it to freeze, but I really like these. So I got a 2-pack of these. These are...
Where's the other one, Boo?
The other one was in the freezer, and it currently has a batch of homemade strawberry ice cream in there. Woo! Look at that. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you how to make this ice cream. Up next, there's a little something.
I think we got some insects.
Something, a little rat kind of got in there. Yeah, so this is how the Sumo works. Really nice. And they're this shape. So they stack in the freezer like this on a shelf. Doesn't take up a lot of room. So ice cream fans, whatever machine that you decide on will be great. I believe you get great results out of all these machines. Whether you pick a inexpensive ice and rock salt machine, you pick a freezer bowl type machine, or you go for it and get you a compressor machine, you will have a lot of fun making ice cream. So stay tuned, because we are going to be having a video of my strawberry ice cream. We're also going to do an ice cream machine battle. So we're going to pit all 3 of these ice creams machines together. We're going to run them at the same time, and we're going to see what kind of results we get out of these machines. This one, obviously, we will be doing a double batch because it's larger, but we're going to be using a half batch for these 2 and a full batch for these, and we're going to make some ice cream, and we are going to find out the good, the bad, and the ugly between these 3 machines.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Let's get ready to rumble, baby. We're gonna have us an ice cream maker battle. If you like this video, please subscribe below, leave me a comment and a like, and come on over and visit me on social media, facebook.com/Cuisinart /group/Amy Learns to Cook. That's my Facebook group. Also, you can catch me on Pinterest and Twitter at Amy Learns to Cook. And hit me up on Instagram at Cookin' with Amy. So now, let's get to the battle.